So we're moving on. We've got the Telegraph next, and I think Humza Yousaf is Scotland's greatest ever leader because he destroyed the SNP. He's now destroying what little is left of his credibility with some biased comments about Israel, Paul.
Yeah, indeed. People condemning Russia, but not Israel, are hypocrites, says Yousaf. A former First Minister makes a parent swipe at Sir Keir Starmer after PM hit out at Russian bombing of Kyiv Hospital. Humza Yousaf, we haven't missed you. Thanks for coming back. He appears to have forgotten why the war started in Gaza.
Absolutely.
Now, I know he's got skin in the game. I know that he's got family in Palestine, but you can't conflate the two. I know it's very easy politically. It's very easy for people like us, comedians or commentators, to say, oh, you know, if you like one, you shouldn't like the other, etc., etc. But the two are vastly different.
Yeah.
They're absolutely different, and you shouldn't conflate the two.
Russia invaded Ukraine. That's how the Ukraine war started, whereas Israel was invaded by Hamas. So it's a complete, it's completely opposite. And also Russia deliberately targets hospitals and civilian areas, whereas Israel tries to minimize civilian casualties. And in fact, when we saw that hospital bombed, it was reported as Israel having bombed it. In fact, it was a Hamas rocket that had fallen short.
Totally. And Russia's hit 2 hospitals, in fact, and a load of civilian infrastructure. Yeah. What people seem to, there's a lot of people saying things that are such nonsense at the moment about the right to defend yourself against occupation and so on, which there is a right if that is an occupation, which is arguable with Israel. But at the same time, that right is only a right if you're following the law. It doesn't mean there is no law involved. And Hamas, Houthi, Iran, Hezbollah, they're not being held to any international laws at all. Yeah. Right now, Hezbollah has been bombing Israel for the last few months, and what I'm seeing is headlines coming up now saying that Israel is preparing to attack Hezbollah. They're not preparing; they've been attacked for the last few months. You know, and at any time, the UN could have put down Resolution 1701, which is designed to stop that, to force them to move back from the border. But they're simply not doing it. To compare the two is ridiculous. These are totally different wars that started for very different reasons, and the similarity really is with Russia and with Hamas totally ignoring all international law and going for civilian structures wherever they can with no excuse. Because don't forget also Israel, there's loads of evidence now of 25-mile tunnels going underneath Gaza. The people who've been stolen, taken into Gaza, have not been allowed to be seen by the Red Cross. So these are all war crimes. Yeah. You know, so the war crimes are just mounting up and mounting up.
Do you know what's really interesting?
It doesn't let Russia off at all.
It is obviously what Kerry's saying is incredibly insightful, but there will be swathes of the UK and the West who would never have heard that before and will immediately doubt it because it's not what they've heard or seen or read.
Well, the progressive idea is that Hamas attacking Israel was decolonizing because apparently Israel is a colonizing force. Yet somehow the Jews were there first. It's the oldest religion, and the whole of the Middle East is now Muslim. So who was really colonizing who? Who's really the colonizing force there, if you really want to look at it through that prism? Anyway.